inside us. Love is the word. Moving through the day, pray no accidents arise. Giving thanks to heaven that I am still alive. Blessing my enemies, blessing the ones I love. Praying for forgiveness for any damages I've done. Healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. Now the day is done and moon is on the rise. My trials and tribulations all bottled up inside. I summon in the love as I reach up for the skies. I command all fear and shadows be gone before my eyes. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word.
I'm going to play another song called Waiting now. It's about waiting on the will of heaven.
I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. I listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Whoa, whoa, I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. Listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, 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 I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I'm waiting on the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 ba-do, ba-do, do, do. Do, 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 do. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today.
Okay, that's literally what I'm doing right now. Hello, Ivona. Hi, Path. How are you doing? Good evening and welcome. It is Sunday, 29th January 2023. The moon is in Taurus right now. So I know we got lots of juicy, yummy green stuff going on here, all these sextiles and trines, which is very comforting considering all the challenges we have or have been having. Notice how I added all the conflicting signs of the aspects here with the squares, the hard squares, here and here and here. There's no hard oppositions at the moment, but just please remember that I don't really include, Pallas, Juno, Ceres, and the, some of the asteroids and things. I've got Chiron because it's very personal and sensitive, and we've got, of course, the North Node. So it's a bit of a change. As you know, we often see a lot of red on my astrodoodles. So we might as well enjoy the sweetness of the moment. Now, I don't want to overstate it because we do have, I guess, what I would consider some lingering energies. I know I'm going way back here, but we did have the Scorpio new moon eclipse a few months ago. Okay, that energy field is still going on. So whoever you are, wherever you are, wherever that Scorpio new moon eclipse landed in your personal chart, it's still active. Okay, radical shifts, new starts, new beginnings in that aspect of your life, wherever it lies. Fast forward, we recently had the Aquarius new moon over here. Okay, the moon was way over here, and we've already passed the first week of transits, and eventually we're going to get over here where the moon is in Leo, and we're going to have a full moon. Moon in Leo opposing Sun in Aquarius. So right now we have, I feel that it's still kind of awkward. A lot of people that I know had very stressful times around this Aquarius new moon, especially to like the 3 or 4 days leading up to it. That's going way over a week now. And then most of the time for the week after it. And that, I believe, is because we had 4 planets in Aquarius at the time. We had Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Venus. And that's a lot of energy, no matter what sign, no matter what house. So, for example, all the Aquarians might have felt some really like cage-rattling surges about like, who am I becoming now? Because the Aquarians would have been starting their new solar year. Okay? And then, for example, all the Leos out there, you might have felt a bit rattled because of the fierce opposition to your Leo nature. That would have been the oppositions over here. About 7, 8 or 10, 2, 4, 6, like 8 or 9 days ago. Okay? And of course, if you really want to get into it, we've got the Taurus energy, which by sign, Taurus hard squaring with Aquarius, would have amplified the stress. And at the time of the new moon, it was very, very stressful, but it's smoothed out. Right now we have what I call a precession of planets. Basically everything is kind of well spaced out, but all in a row. And it also happens that all the planets are direct right now. So you might have felt this like surge of energy moving forward. A few weeks ago, I was predicting that once the new moon in Aquarius happens and once all the planets go direct, we're going to see an increased surge in all the, let's say, the things that are untrue in the world. You're going to come pouring out like a broken dam and releasing sludge and sewage of all the nasty stuff that's been going on in the world that's being hidden by very, very powerful people at the top of the food chain. But they can't stop it. They literally cannot stop it. And that's why it's pouring out right now. And that's why certain entities at the very, very top of the pyramids of power in this world are in a state of divine panic. Because they don't know how to stop the sewage, the flow of sewage. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating. I'm talking about global things, and that's the stuff that gets me in trouble. So I'm going to try and make it a little more personal, and I'm going to get away from the smelly stuff. So over here, this is the 12th house. It's still very, very active. It's been there. It's a 14-year journey. We've been with it for years, since before even Terra Lumination started. And we've got some time to go, a year or two, a couple of years to go, at least. So a lot of this relates to illness, sickness, disease, deception, lies, betrayal, losses, tragedy, death, and some themes that are actually very, very common in the global newscape right now. But it can also happen at the personal level. I know somebody who has a very, very prominent 12th house, and lo and behold, they have tremendous issues with illness. Luckily, they have a very powerful Sun and Pluto alignment, which kind of neutralizes the challenges for them over here. But since everything's laid out in a procession, I don't really want to focus too much on any one of it in particular. So, in the past I used to do tons and tons of readings. We would do at least 12 videos for the situations, and then maybe 12 for love and relationship, and then maybe 12 for the heart-soul journey spread, and so on. And of course I had burnout years ago, and now we're trying to restructure. So I'm doing my own internal restructuring, just like the world is doing its own restructuring. And my big moment of, like the pivotal moment, was January 2020. And the intensity of restructuring is increasing and increasing and increasing. And there's no way out of it, so you just have to find a way to go with the flow. Right now, anyway, one of the core themes, of course, we've seen a lot of this on the news. I'm going to get away from the global politics and the personal stuff. I'm talking about things about material matter here on Earth, especially when it's to do with animals and nature, and I would say just global finance. Hello, Necessary Truths. So, with Uranus in Taurus still very close to the North Node, halfway through its 7-year journey in Taurus, we still have another roughly three and a half years to go with this Uranus and Taurus energy. And it just happens to be very destabilizing, very disruptive for, number one, the global financial system. Number two, for planet Earth itself. You've probably noticed all the things like earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, flooding, extreme cold, extreme heat, extreme droughts, fires, very, very bizarre weather events all across the world. So that's normal in a situation like this. And I believe that when it's with the Taurus North Node here, it's up to us as humanity to accommodate ourselves with the reality of these entities, the sacred geometry, all the gravity and the magnetism and the pull that they have on us as individuals and on planet Earth as an individual. The whole of planet Earth. Okay, look at it this way. In our Western astrology, we do everything from the point of view where planet Earth is at the center, and then we observe the movement of the planets from here, including Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto now, because we can observe those with, very special, like radio satellites and things, because we can't see them with the naked eye. But we can see Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn with the naked eye if you've got very clear skies. And all of these proceed in a never-ending swirl. And right now they're all lined up in this way. But can you see here, just from this very simplistic astrodoodle, that there's a tremendous emphasis way over here on one side? So, what I would like to suggest is that imagine I'm holding planet Earth over here, and it's spinning perfectly around its orbit here, but I'm feeling a tremendous tug this way. Okay? Now, these kind of pulls are really, I would say, undetectable unless you're somebody like, the Suspicious Observer channel, a really super evolved scientist who knows how to measure these microscopic deflections in orbits and so on. But it's very, very, very real. We all know about the moon. Wherever the moon goes, at that point, that's where it's lifting up tides and receding tides, lifting and receding. And it's a very regular, predictable pattern. Now, it's the same thing. There's gravitational pull here, but it's a bigger, deeper pull from far away. Even Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. But the pull is so deep and so far away that we don't really notice it. The moon is so close to us that we actually notice the pull because we can actually see the oceans rising and falling. For example, even though there's a lull, if the moon is here, let's say it's actually a chart. Forget about the astrology. Let's just say this is planet Earth and this is the moon, and the moon is sitting right here. There will be a high tide roughly here, and it will be dragged around the surface of the Earth like this. Okay? And what will happen is, if you could measure it, there would be, instead of a perfect sphere, there would be a slight egg shape wherever the water is being pulled by the moon. And that's because the pull of the moon and the gravity is so powerful that it actually sucks the water away from the rest of the surfaces of the Earth towards the moon itself. Anyway, it's all beautiful. It's all very beautiful. Now, getting back to the personal levels again, how does this affect you? Of course, you guys know. There's only a few of us here tonight. You all know that, for example, Path Traveler has a strong, a strong Capricorn element inside her nature somewhere. So, for example, these elements would be in a very strong place of significance in her own chart, wherever that happens to lie. Okay? Now, of course, you could pick out other things. And, Cancerian people, they would be feeling things from here. Libra people would be feeling things from here. Capricorn people would be feeling things from here, and so on and so on. And that's what we dig into when we do the personal readings and so on. Let's have a look. Now, I'm going to go over here and check in and say hi. And let's see. Yeah, there we are. Greetings. I'm up in my space bubble, trying to sort of, navigate through life at the moment. Excuse me, I got to take care of something here. All right. Sorry about that. It's interesting, because I scour the news all over the world. I'm not going to talk about hardly any of it tonight, because that's what gets me in trouble. But those Starlink satellites from Elon Musk? There's, I think, hundreds, if not thousands of them up there in the sky now, and more are scheduled. And the whole idea is that to cover the Earth in kind of a network of connectivity that allows humanity to, I would say, increase its connectivity just in the way that happened when the first telephones were invented, or the first megaphones, or the first iterations of the internet, and so on. B. Roxanne, hello. Hello. Yeah, greetings. Thanks for dropping by. Excuse me. And that's a very, very space age thing. Elon Musk has a very powerful Aquarian theme. He's actually a Cancer sun, Cancer rising, I believe. Yeah. So he has a very strong bond with the United States. But when you look at his chart and extend it all the way across, you get Mars in Aquarius in the 8th house. And that's a very, I would say, it's like a cage rattling kind of energy to anything and anyone involved in the world of other people's money. As you know, he has a very contentious relationship with money, with Wall Street and with banking. Huge money, for better or worse. And he lives it out by example. And he's not afraid to call it out either. He's not afraid to call out the Wall Street titans and say, you know what, everybody, because now you know he owns Twitter, and he's stepping back and he's allowing it to open up as a free speech platform and go back to its original, let's say, intentions. It's causing a lot of upheaval and disruptions. Mars in Aquarius is like the energy of the freedom fighter. It's the energy of the fierce, you're never going to take me down freedom fighter. People who literally fight for justice, for freedom, like for our example in the United States, for our Constitution. These would be patriots in the extreme sense, things like that. And that just happens to be Elon. I just went on to that subject because the Aquarian theme is very strong right now. And a lot of that is to do with things like the internet and outer space and electricity and so on. And all the crazy stuff that goes on up there. Yeah. Anyway, it's good to see you all. What's going on over there? Just going to check a little something. Give me a second here, folks. Hang out, hang with me. All right, I'm good to go. I just had to check some settings on the softwares. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Good enough. Oh, hi, Bubba. Bubba wants to say hi. Here he is. Here's His Majesty. He's actually pretty uncomfortable with me right at the moment. I don't think he really wants to do this. Oh, he's gone all soft and mushy. Okay, I'm going to let him down. We'll hang out soon, okay, Bubba? Don't you worry. Gotta give him special treats. Keep him happy. So I'm working on some new content. It's going to be quite different. And new ways of presenting. Again, quite different. Well, I guess you could say variations on a theme. It's still Terrorlumination, but we got to do things differently. I'm actually getting some professional help to do this. Anyway, while we're here, if no one's booking a reading or donating or anything like that, I might as well just do a freebie. Are there any newbies, complete newbies? B. Roxanne, tell us a little bit more. Dive in on the chat there. Give us a little bit of edification. I know, I'm going to get my maps. Hold on, stay right there. Let me go over here. All right, yeah, because I'm always curious. TL on my PayPal. Oh, all right, okay. Well, if we're just going to have one little mini reading tonight, maybe we'll do a little. Hey, necessary. If we're just going to do one reading and there's not a lot of people here, maybe we could just do it for us, just like it's a little private club here tonight, as though we're meeting in a little boutique salon, okay? Happy Born Day, lovely Aqualora. Yeah, Aqualora is out right now. Yes, it is actually her birthday. You probably know her as Love Triber, B. Roxanne. I used to watch your videos from Missouri. Or is it Montana? Gemini here. Thank you for the warm welcome. Yeah, is that a little cow, a little black and white cow I see in the picture? Missouri. It's got to be Missouri. I can't remember. Montana is MT. That's right. Okay, sound is good. All right, good. All right. All right, so we do have a booking for a mini reading. Were you having problems with SoundPath? I do have an idea. I'm very, very tempted to do a spontaneous trial this evening. I don't know how it would work. We used to do things like this, but they were much more organized. Yeah, Missouri. Got it. Heartland. There we go. Be Roxanne. Right there is Missouri. The camera's not taking it up very well. Oh well, we get a rough idea where you are. Thank you very much. Yeah, as far as I know, the sound's good over here. I'm just checking all the softwares. Yeah, looks good. It's a Tibetan yak. Oh. All right. A Tibetan yak. Wow. Huh. Very cool. All right, let me go over here a second. I don't really need this. So let me get back to my point. There we are. What I was thinking, if it's just a very, very quiet thing tonight, why don't I just do a little mini reading for all of us? Because you know what I'm very tempted to do? I'm just going to put it up to the vote right now for people who are interested. It's so quiet that it might be fun to do a little private Zoom live thing together, if anybody's interested. The tricky part, of course, is the link, but I could open my... Hello, Maria! I could... This is getting too technically complicated for me. I really have to organize myself a lot better. It's just one of the things I'm talking about with my helper, consulting person. Give me a second. So, what I was going to ask is necessary. I know it's you who put the donation in, and you've been very supportive over the years, and you always seem to get very rich, layered mini readings live for yourself. And if you're okay with that, I will just dive in and get you a reading for you. What are the messages that we have for necessary truths tonight? And it could be like that, or what are the messages for necessary truth tonight regarding the subject of ... Give me a second. Oh, okay. All right, let's just hang out for a little bit. Necessary truth needs a little bit of time. I'm not expecting Love Tribe to show up. She's gallivanting around. Okay. Oh, don't worry. Okay, I trust you. Don't worry. No worries. Okay. Yep. Yep. I know that, I can't remember who I was talking to about this the other day. It might have been an actual doctor. Yes, actually it was. Who was it? Anyway, I was talking about the doctor, and the doctor was talking to me, and they were talking about their personal issues. Oh yeah, that's right. I was at a meeting on Wednesday, and I was talking with someone, a couple of people who were like professional healers, They do things in a different way. They don't do YouTube and stuff like that, but they do astrology and tarot and healing hands and things like that. And one of them, poor woman, she was like freaking out. And I recognized, oh my God, she's got the same symptoms as half of the people that show up on the Tarot Lumination channel. Because half the people that show up on this channel are already healers operating at those sort of frequencies. And then she said the buzz phrase, the catch phrase. And she said, oh my God, sometimes healers need a healer. And I went, ding! Okay, well, maybe that's the reason why I'm here today. Think of the wonderful synchronicity that allowed all this to happen. So allow me to help. How can I help you? And then, of course, it all kind of gushed out and she relaxed and it went very, very well. Healing the healers. That's kind of what we do here. I know it's a very kind of boutique-y, elite kind of crowd, but that's really what we do. There are other ways of doing these tarot astrology channels, as you know. I've had different formats. Oh my God! Okay, necessary truth. I've never done anything like that. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine how you would cope. That is just staggering. Absolutely staggering. Well, you probably need a complete hose down, a complete wash down, decontamination. Oh, that sounds rude to the clients. Well, actually, that's kind of what happens. You end up having to go through a decontamination center so that you can, fluff yourself, get all spiritually aligned and cleaned up so that you're not carrying a lot of residual energy from all the people who wanted to have readings with you. All right, let's just dive in. All righty. Healing the healers. Man, we really touched a nerve there. Okie dokie. All right, what kind of messages do we have here tonight for necessary truths? In particular regarding the theme of healing the healers, because right now it sounds very applicable. Now, cards were already well shuffled in advance. As you know, you've seen this many times. Past Traveler says, I have a meeting place link. Aha! Question is, where is that link and can anybody see it? I know what you're talking about, Path, and I keep all of that stuff on a separate file, which I use very frequently. God, that must be so weird. You know what? I wouldn't actually mind doing an event like that one day. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if I could handle. Wait a minute. What is 20? That's cheapers. Sorry, I'm freaking out here with numbers. So let's see if the battery's still good here. Okay. 26 times 15. Sorry, cancel. 26 times 15 equals 390 divided by 60 equals. Oh my God, you must have been working 6 hours. My God. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I know I couldn't. I mean, do you remember how I used to do 4 or 5 hour live shows and I would do maybe 8 readings? That was overwhelming. Jeepers. You just got home. Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. Okay, we need to get out the the hose. We're just going to hose you down. Just stand still. Well, just move around. I would, honestly, before I even get started here, one of the things that came up in conversation when I was in this meeting with these ladies the other day is about getting back to my advanced healing stuff, the very physical stuff that we used to do years ago on the private Zoom meetings with all the, advanced tarot Lumination members through the Patreon. Anyway, they said, wow, maybe you could do that again over here, because they have like an event space. And I kept thinking, maybe, okay. And then I kept thinking, well, it's one thing to do it like live through a Zoom, but being in like what amounts to like an event in a yoga class where I'm up on a stage or I'm in a prominent position, and then I have a bunch of folks in the event with me who are looking to do that advanced healing, because some of you know that it's actually very, very demanding on the body. But the beauty of it is that it really does really rapid, deep cleansing, okay? Tapping training. Yeah, we did something like that. That's some music. Yep. Okay, so, you know what? Let's bounce it around about. This is a really short song. It'll lift up the energy and get you into a happy mood. And then we'll dive into your reading, okay? It's called The Bounce. So give me a second here. I will find it for you on my playlist. And it's somewhere here. There it is. Okay, hang on, folks. Now, I used to play this song long ago when I was a kid in pop groups and rock groups and stuff like that. And we played loud and fast. And we just jumped around, and typically the audience would be in kind of a jumping like mosh pit frenzy. So if you can imagine that kind of environment, okay? And a full rock band. Help yourself.
This is called The Bounce. Tokyo, even in old Moscow, in some parts of Trinidad, I remember the good times I had, all along the Great Wall of China, on the decks of ocean liners, with the Incas up in the Andes, way out in Los Angeles. Let's bounce, let's bounce, let's bounce, let's bounce. I smoked powwow with Geronimo. I've been downtown with nowhere to go. I made peace between the West and East, and I've met Beauty and the Beast. I swam around the great equator. I started out sooner than later. I've been out to both of the poles, and I know where you don't go old. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. Let's bounce.
Of course, yeah. Back in the day, of course, I lived on massive amounts of adrenaline and beer and fish and chips. And that usually kept me going, plus a nice cup of coffee in the morning. I just wanted to show you something about the last line. And I know where you don't grow old. Some of you might know that. There's a place over here in Ecuador. And I think it was actually Path Traveler or Love Triber who introduced it to me, but there's this book, like the Blue Zones. I think it's titled The Blue Zones. And it's about this doctor who's traveled all over the world to study this bizarre phenomenon where there are certain locations where it's very obvious that people live for many, many years, often way beyond the typical shelf life of anybody in, Western Europe or America, Canada, and places. And of course, it's like, it's freakish if somebody makes it to 90, let alone 100, let alone 105 or 10. But apparently it's quite common over here in Ecuador. And if I recall, I don't have the book, but I did have the book. If I recall, the doctor was interviewing the people who lived in these basically like remote villages way out in Ecuador, which is very near the equator. And the doctor was asking, well, what's your secret? What is it that you guys do? Are you on some kind of like herbal, what is it? Yes, Path. Yep. Okay, so we got 2 readings booked tonight. I'll get to the post-it notes in just a minute. But the villagers were saying, like, well, it's really nothing special. The villagers were like, well, we have very simple lives, as you can tell. We get up with the sun. We go to sleep when it's dark. We have a really, really healthy, simple diet. What else? They're typically physically very active, but they really don't do any exercise the way we think of it, like going to the gym and doing the weights and performance. They seem to have very little in the way of distractions, like movies, retail shopping, going on vacations, drugs, alcohol, all these incredible things that are associated with advanced nations or Western countries. They didn't really have any of that. It looked, from what I could tell, it was basically fruits, vegetables, and local meats, whatever they could be at the time. Maybe fish, maybe goat, sheep, chicken, stuff like that. All prepared. A lot of time and energy was spent in growing food, gathering food, preparing food, eating food. And that's very physically demanding, because it was a very agrarian society with very little in the way of technology or machines. And they just really refused to have anything else to do with the rest of the crazy world. And I guess they would basically have a very modest blood pressure and heart pulse rate. And like in the West especially, people are living in a chronic state of permanent stress, and they never actually wind down. But wild animals know differently. For example, like a cat, like little Bubba. He's in a very, very sublime, beautiful condition 90% of the time. But if something scares him, he goes from sweet slumbers into full attack mode. It's fight or flight. And that happens instantaneously. And when that happens, the body floods with cortisol and adrenaline ready for the fight or the flight. And once the problem is diffused, then little Bubba just goes back to being little Bubba. And all the adrenaline and cortisols are metabolized and it's all over. But for a lot of Western people, well, a lot of people who are stressed, there's 8 billion people now. I would say 7.9 billion are ultra stressed most of the time. They've got this permanent flood of cortisol and adrenaline, and it's very sickening, and it's not healthy for the body. And those folks in Ecuador, they don't really have that or do that. They operate more like little Bubba over here. Anyway, that was just a little note about the song. All right, let's get on with it. Necessary Truths. Here we go. And then after that, we've got Path Traveler with a Leo full moon reading. Perfect. Let me put all this aside. I'm going to make some space here. Things can get pretty rambunctious when we're doing these readings. Let me get my Post-its. So first up, we've got necessary truths. And then we have Path Traveler. Path Traveler is going to go for a Leo full moon reading. All right, necessary, here we go. Now, hopefully necessary, you're starting to decompress. It's already very late at night for you, so hopefully you're walking around in your house robe, in slippers, and you're chillaxing and letting your body decompress and releasing all that, let's say, psychic influence from other people's auras. Because you can't carry that with you for any kind of extended time, okay? No, don't. You don't have to have a question. Bring it on, John. No worries. No worries about it. In fact, let's not even stress it all. Let's leave what are the messages that we have here tonight for necessary truths. And we're going to add a little bit of spice and seasoning and let's say focus through John, okay? In case you're not aware, folks out there who are watching and never done this before, John happens to be one of the invisible friends for necessary truths. John tends to be pretty serious, straightforward, down to earth, practical, and very conscientious. Oops. Cards are a mess. Well, the cards aren't a mess. It's me who's a little bit, I guess, rattled. I have to admit that the whole Aquarius new moon vibe made me extremely rattled. Like, really like, bleh. Okay? So I've been doing my homework to try and keep myself in a sublime condition that I would call healthy. But it can very quickly accelerate and go back to the overstimulation of that Aquarius new moon. Now, of course, it's different. Well, it's actually that applies to everybody, because wherever that Aquarius new moon happened over a week ago, there was that big cluster of planets, 4 planets all right there, and like it or not, that's going to hit you somewhere in your chart, wherever the Aquarius section is in your chart. Hello, Starsy. Okay, necessary. Now, we had the conversation that you just got back from doing all those readings, but let's see what story turns up for you in particular. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for necessary truth? We're using my situational spread, as always. And we're going to, let's say, default to the planets for the external influences. Pretty much always that's what we do. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the external influences. We've got the King of Wands. Okay, now this is, of course, it's a very masculine energy. I'm not saying that's what's surrounding you. I would associate that more to do with this energy here, like the Aquarius, Aries, Mars, and Aries energies here. That's, I would say, very effervescent energy, lively, powerful, strong energy. And there's a big focus on Jupiter here. Jupiter close to Chiron. Jupiter in Aries. And so it's almost like we're taking advantage with this sextile here. You see, here's the trine, and here's the sextile, here's the other sextile. And that's a really powerful alignment right there, which just happens to suit you, necessary, very, very nicely. So it might have put you in a position of great strength and ability and supreme command of all your assets, skills, and resources. And you are simply living by example. And today you just literally, I would say, excelled yourself. And that energy is still here for you. Okay? It's going to extend a little while because the Aquarius vibe, the Aries vibe, and the Gemini vibe is not shifting in the immediate future. So this is kind of like having wings right now, okay? Necessary. Got an award at work? Oh my God. Wow, that's very, very cool. This is very much about having wings, okay? So, and also with the Capricorn and the Taurus energy very heavily trined here, that's like having stabilizers. So you've got all this wonderful energy of having wings. You know, I think they say in Red Bull commercials, Red Bull gives you wings. This is almost the same kind of energy, having like superpowers without having to drink Red Bull. And then the stabilizers are over here. Okay, that's all the earth energy. Really powerful earth energy. So it looks to me as though, I mean, you are female, so, you know, you might think, well, why isn't that the Queen of Wands? Well, what I'm sensing here is that this is to do with the authority and the, like a really, let's say a reflection. Let's just say this energy here is like a reflection coming back to you about your own energy, about your own self that you might not often see. Because you might get so engrossed in your own situations that you forget how amazing you are, how powerful you are, how gifted you are. And you just needed this as a reminder. This is like supreme achievements, excellence, and the ability to lead and inspire others through example, living by example. And it looks like you've already been doing it. Hint, hint, the award on Friday. So you must have been building up to that. And then the events today. But it's going to have a spillover as well, okay? So this is very good news. Now, what's the situation itself? It's time for you to chill, okay? Even with all this very supportive energy I just talked about, you still have to heal. We're still talking about healing the healer. So this is something that you might have to deliberately force upon yourself. Now, I don't know how you're going to do that. All right, give me a second here. I'm going to join up with you. I don't know how you're going to do that, but it's something that you are going to have to impose upon yourself. Because with this really strong Aries fire energy, which is very beneficial to you, it can be very hard to unwind from that. But it's very necessary that you do. Otherwise, you end up in burnout, okay? So, let me think of some obvious examples. Well, kava tea, okay? If you got any of that at the house, take not just one tea bag, take 2 tea bags of kava tea. Load it up, get that brew going, and chug it down. Then, also, if it fits in with your schedule tonight, have a hot bubble bath. Not just a shower. If you've got a shower, great. Maybe just stand under a shower and just soak away, blast away the tension. It's very rare that I would ever have a shower at nighttime, but it might be very, very helpful. I know that Love Triber likes to have a shower very, very late. And sometimes a bath very, very late, because it really, really, like, it turns your body to jello. And she just had a new hot water heater, so at some point I know she's going to celebrate by having a big, deep, hot bath full of bubbles. So that's my recommendation with the Four of Swords there. And then that will take the body down. Body turns to jello. The mind turns to jello. And then you go all pink. And then you think, whoa, man, I got to get out of the... I gotta go to bed. And then with any luck, you sleep like a log for 8 hours straight. Okay? That's what I'm sensing about the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is very mental. In other words, you've really got to get out of your head right now, because your head has been so incredibly active today. And that needs to be decompressed. It's like heal, 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 heal. Maybe you have one of those ocean wave machines near your bed, something like that. Okay, you've got your own recipe. Turmeric, cinnamon, and paprika in hot water. Well, whatever it takes, but no caffeine. And actually no alcohol either. What you need is very old-fashioned stuff. And it's actually powerful, like just doing those sort of things, but it has to be deliberate, and you got to really get onto it tonight, really quickly. All right, what's the problem here? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, my feeling is that I know this is almost like a couple's card, but there's also a very strong energy of healing associated with this, about you being there for another and another being there for you. My feeling is that this is, because this is in a challenging position here, things are obviously very out of balance right now, because you have dedicated many hours today in offering your loving healing services to other individuals, and to the point where you are effectively depleted. It's not like they were healing you. Maybe you get remuneration. Maybe they pay you good money, and that's great, but that's a very different energy vibe from you being healed by another. We're talking about healing the healer. So right now, you are the healer, and you need healing from another healer. Okay? But it's a little bit tricky doing that right now, because you really got to take care of this first. You got to get yourself in a position physiologically. I mean, I'm talking about the raw physical body. Forget your soul and your brain and everything. You got to get the body into a state of divine jello, the obvious ways that we just described. And then this problem will probably emerge in such a way that you realize, wow, I really am depleted. Wow, I really did get way out of balance. So much love being offered, because that's kind of who you are, that's what you do. But it needs to be brought back into balance for yourself. So how are we going to deal with this situation going forward? Okay, my feeling is that you might be all fired up because of your own awesomeness and your rewards and having a very successful day today. But when I see the Six of Swords here right now at this time, my feeling is that it's very important that what you do here tonight or in the next 12 to 24 hours, you extend that for a significant period of time. My personal feeling is that it's not actually very healthy to do so many readings to so many people in such a short time frame. Sure, you can do it because you can, but can you see the depletion? Can you see what's actually happened, what you have brought upon yourself? And again, no one can live your life for you. I mean, I can talk about this in the reading, and you can say, yeah, sure, TL, I know exactly what you're talking about, but whether you actually take action or not is a whole other thing. And what I'm sensing here with the Six of Swords is that it's very, very important that you take action to deliberately, I would say, distance yourself from the behavior that leads to the depletion. I'm not saying stop being a healer, stop doing readings. All I'm suggesting here is that give yourself a break. Literally, like, step away from the arena, step away from the event. Perhaps take, I don't know if you do it every weekend, but perhaps give yourself a weekend where you have an extended vacation, where you literally check out for a while. I'm not saying like go for 6 weeks without it, but all I'm suggesting is, like, I don't know how you run the schedules there, but if you have clients already scheduled up weeks in advance, I think it's very, very important that you schedule a time and a day where you would normally be doing your event, but you cancel it. Okay? And you give yourself like a little mini holiday of some kind. Basically a private solo mini holiday. Okay? Like, I don't know what it is. Don't know what it would be. Like getting in some transportation and going off into some nature somewhere. Get out of the city vibes. I know you're up in the Northeast in a very intense, super hyper intense environment there up in this area. Okay, it's one of the most intense living environments in the world is right here. But and I know this area very well from when I was a kid. With deliberate intent, you can actually be way out in nature, especially if you go up into mid-state, upstate New York. I mean, it's not that big a deal to go from here to there and completely change your environment where you're surrounded by trees, animals, river, nature, green, maybe some snow, all that kind of stuff. And give yourself a break. Award yourself a break for being so awesome. But you can't do this. You've got to do the self-healing first. And healer, heal thyself. Okay, that's another expression that they use in quantum healing. I don't know if you know that guy. Yes, this week I will. Week of February 15 to 25. Oh, very, very nice. Upstate New York. Oh, wow. Seriously? You're actually going to do that? There's some beautiful places up there. Have you ever been up to Vermont? Have you ever been up to Maine? Anyway, that's your reading necessary. Thank you, John, by the way. Hold on. Okay, no, he doesn't want me to say any more. He's in agreement with whatever's going on here, and he's really just stepping off to the side. Okay, Feb 17th is TL is a big day. Okay, while you're on the vacation, while you're on a big trip or something. John is saying to me to let you know, well, he's basically reassuring me, TL, you don't have to do anything else. Nothing less, nothing more. The reading is spot on. She heard what she needed to hear. Now it's up to her. Okay? And then he's saying, leave it to me. I will be at her side all the way. Okay? Kaboom. Oh, it's not a vacation. Please hear me. It's not a vacation. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. But you do need a vacation, okay? Necessary truth, you do need a vacation. Not a work trip, not an immersion exercise of some kind, but just something that is completely benign, something where you can literally space out and trip out. You operate at such high frequencies, necessary truths, that sometimes it's really, really hard to get back to the earthy connections, but you really have to do it every now and again. Otherwise, you end up in burnout. Look what happened to me, 2019. I brought all that on myself. All right, I'm going to put on another little tune now for you folks, and then we're going to read for Path, and it's a completely different type of reading. Okay, I'm going to play I Am Healing. That's the lyrics. That's the whole song. It's another sort of little dancey song. I used to use these songs when I would heal myself in my kind of very weird self-healing practices that are very effective. It's just that they're kind of unusual, unique, and strange. But anyway, tea time. Okay, I'm going to play this song. It's got a dance beat to it. So enjoy, and we'll get on with the reading for Path, all right? Here we are. Okay. Oh, she's telling me? To the week February. Okay, alright. Oh, okay. I thought she was talking about going away. I thought she was talking about going away for a while. And for also, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. So I have to, I'm going to mark that. And I'm going to make a little post-it note for me. Interesting, okay. Of course, I trust you all. You're all amazing people. TL. Pay attention. February 15th to 25th. Okay, that's going to go on my calendar. Thank you so much. All right, Path, we're going to do this full moon Leo reading for you. Cards are nicely shuffled, but we're going to go a little more. Really, honestly, I don't like shuffling while the music's playing because I have a feeling that the microphone picks up the sound of the cards and that interferes with the music. Because I've got all these softwares running simultaneously to do this show, and I don't have, you know, an engineer, studio manager to control all the things that really need to be controlled. And one of them is like muting a microphone and things like that. I just can't do it all. All right, cards are nicely shuffled. Let's go over here. Oh, especially 17th. All right. I'm just marking that in the middle. Circling around at the 17 mark. There, okie dokie. Alright, so let me get the charts for a second. Here's the astrodoodle for today, right now. And the moon is in Taurus over here. So it takes about 2.5 days for the moon to go through each sign as it goes whizzing around our solar system, or in fact whizzing around planet Earth. So let's see, we're almost over here. So we got 2.5. Actually, let me just check the calendar. The actual date of the full moon is, I think it's is it the 3rd or the 4th? Let me just check. What am I doing? No, it's they're marking it as the 5th, but I'm actually going to take it as the 4th. So, let's see, tonight, and so we're talking basically next weekend. That's a week from now. 2.5, 2.5, that's 5. And it's like 7. So the moon is going to be roughly over here in later degrees. So I'm actually going to, I better not mess up the chart. So the moon will be right about here, okay? Just over here. And the sun will be roughly 18, 19 degrees over here. Very, very close to Saturn in Aquarius. So it's going to be a very strong full moon. Opposition, sun, moon will be opposing. And it will include the vibes of Saturn. The other planets will be uninvolved. We're going to have the Leo Aquarius vibes. We're still going to have the Aries vibes over here. We'll still have some strong harmonies and sextiles with the Mars and Gemini. And the Aries thing over here. So I'm just trying to do a very super quick analysis, okay? You've got so much Leo, the degrees don't matter. Yes, I know. I encounter that quite a lot with people that I meet where they have so many planets in one side that it just picks up all 30 degrees. Actually, we might as well mess this chart up. We might as well do it now. So what Path Traveler is talking about there, for anyone who's watching, who's interested, this is the 0 degree, this is the 30 degree mark. What she's saying is that she's got so many planets in Leo that it fills up the whole 30 degrees. Now, I guess what we could do, let's put the Leo on the first house over here, okay, like so. This is just little, I'm just playing around here. So, during the period of the full moon, the moon is going to be over here in Leo, opposing the Aquarius energy of Sun and Saturn over here. Sun will be over here, Saturn will still be right there. And so for a Leo, in fact, any Leos right now, they would be going through that once a year period of opposition. Now, it depends on how you are configured and how you conduct your life and how much you have come to terms with your own nature, your own astrology. But for a lot of people, when they go through that 6-monthly period of opposition, there's your solar pattern. It takes 1 year to do one solar cycle, like the Sun in Leo all the way back to Sun in Leo a year later. But halfway through, as in the case with Path Traveler, the Sun is traveling through the Aquarius energy, which in this chart would be in full opposition to the Leo energy. So in the opposition energy, we're talking about very important one-on-one relationships, for example, marriage or business. And in each of those cases, because it's 7th house energy, they call this the house of open enemies. So there's nowhere to hide because the Sun is essentially lighting up your 7th house path, okay? And whatever is out of whack or inappropriate in these very significant one-on-one relationships, it might be a family member or a business or something like that, it would be very pronounced and unavoidable and very clear. Like if it's a problem, you'll know about it. If it's good, you'll know about it. So you might want to keep an eye out for very significant relationship dynamics, because that's the axis that is going to be lit up for you using my solar delineations. Now, of course, it's going to look quite different depending on your rising sign and so on. But for now, I want to stick with this because this is a very powerful way to look at things. Now remember, of course, also, Path, you're going to have the energy leading up to the full moon and then the waning as it comes out of the full moon. But you've got a 2.5 day period, let's do it like this, where the moon is transiting. So let's say, give it a 4-day spread as we get up to this. And it's going to happen soon because the moon is already here. So it's going to happen soon where you're going to start to feel the light and the energy of these other people, other arrangements, other dynamics with significant others, okay? Could be business, whatever. Immediate family or very close, tight partnerships of some kind. So pay attention because the moment of full light, because you've got so much going on in Leo, it's going to extend for 2.5 days, okay? So it's going to be full on. You're going to feel it full on for 2.5 days, and it's going to be quite intense for you. All right, let's have a look. Let's dig a little deeper. What kind of messages do we have for Path Traveler that she needs to hear regarding this Leo full moon coming up? Path is going through that period of a maximum opposition from the Sun at this moment in time. But she's going to have some respite and perhaps some fun during the Leo period, okay? I'm going to cut it up. Let's have a look here. This is my diagnostic spread. Everybody here knows this. In case there's people watching who've never seen any of this stuff before, it's what I use. It's my own custom spread, and I use it like a diagnostic tool, just like if you go inside to AutoZone and tell them, hey, my car is like got blinking lights, something is going wrong on the dashboard, I'm scared, please can you help me? They will send a technician out with their little black box. They'll plug it in under the dashboard and they will tell you, oh, yeah, we've got emissions issues. It's your mass air sensor. It's blown and you got a couple of sensors blown on the fuel system. Sorry. But at least you know what the problem is. You've got to reveal it to heal it. Okay? So that's what we're doing here. All right. Sorry, I've lost track. I got to do some more. Give me a second, Path. I really need to stay on top of this, okay? That's why I'm doing this again. All right, now we're going to cut it up. Okay? Here we go. Now we're going to do the spread. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Very good notes there. Necessary truths, manifestations, coming into fulfillment. And then we have the waning of the moon for another 2 weeks. Then we get into the Pisces vibe. Very, very different. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups here. So I'm thinking we're doing, this is relating something to do with a little bit of remorse in love and relationships. Like there's a bit of, I'm not saying grief and misery. I'm saying there might be a sense of bringing to light anything and everything that is uncomfortable for you regarding love and relationship in ways of, I would say, perhaps even looking to the past where you understand, you know this card very well, and energy flows where attention goes. And so under the vibes of the Four of Cups here, it's very natural for someone to feel, let's say, distracted or fully absorbed or self-absorbed by everything that coulda, woulda, shoulda in the matters of love and the heart. Whether it's with an ex-lover, an ex-loved one, a child, a pet, deceased parents, deceased friends, lost friends, friends that just faded away and you missed them. Okay? It's very easy to be consumed, overwhelmed by that. But you have to also understand it's very easy, well, it's not easy, it's simple to remember that you have the right and the options to redirect your focus over here, because there is what I think of as like a little miniature Ace of Cups waiting for you at all times. Okay? So this isn't just for the full moon, this is for life. Okay? But right now this energy might feel very, very prominent. What I'm feeling here, I don't want to depress you or anything, but it makes me feel like you're almost walking around in your garden, getting a little bit sentimental, a little bit sniffy about what coulda, woulda, shoulda. And it's almost unavoidable when you're thinking about it, when you think about the Aquarius opposition. Anyway, what's the situation itself? Let's have a closer look. Okay, so if things are coming to a head where you're starting to realize, wow, I might have taken on more than I can handle, in particular perhaps business relationships, one-on-one relationships, where you might have been extending too much of your good, wholesome, well-intended energy to the point where you're actually hurting yourself. You're almost wasting your energy on times, places, people, situations, agreements, relationships that don't really deserve you to the extent that you are offering. So I feel that there's a big imbalance here. And it's almost like you can't help yourself. You are fierce. You are very, very strong. And you have the ability to do so much, carry so much, and achieve so much. But again, you can take it to the point where you hurt yourself, okay? I'm a living example of this. And you don't have to be that way, okay? Now, there is hope, but to get from where you are here to, you can't even really see it. It's so tiny. I don't think the camera will pick it up. But there's a beautiful little home right over here. And you can get there. And it's almost like you might be so wrapped up and consumed with obligations right now that you're not in a position to actually unload and unwind, and you have no option except to keep going and to deliver on your commitments that you've made with yourself to others and others have made with you. Okay? All right, let's have a look. What are the challenges here with all that? Because that's very challenging, okay? Some people think of this as the past life card. This is the Six of Cups. So you might feel, some people get these like impressions. They get flashbacks. They get vivid dreams about past lives. And you can almost see yourself. I know I've been dealing with this about a month ago. I had a lot of energy like this in my life where I was having constant flashback dreams into, I would say, previous lifetimes or alternative parallel lifetimes to the one I'm living right now. And in these situations, there was a lot of love exchanged and received. Love given, love received. But you might be feeling like here in your present day reality, this is definitely lacking. And you might feel as though actually you really deserve this. Sometimes it can be one of the most satisfying things to make a very, very clear, unequivocal, indisputable connection with a character from your past, like a past life. Someone you could meet, someone you could bump into. It might be that you're already carrying this energy and it's almost like a burden. In other words, there might be some karmic energy going on here where you feel obliged to make good on and like do reparations on things that might have, been left unattended in the past. Also, again, love from the past. Love received, love given. Between self and other, between other and self. And it's like a resonating storyline here where it would be so nice to have something like resembling that delicious warm feeling of being with a soulmate, and then realizing, well, that's not quite happening right now. So how are we going to deal with this? Let's go forward. Let's have a look. Okay, there's a lot of energy of what I would call acceptance here. It's like you don't really have a choice. Look, there's the moon itself. Okay, look, there it is itself. We had it there for a second. And in a way, I can relate with this very strongly. I'm not talking about myself with my own new moon and whatever it is, Aquarius, Leo themes or anything. All I know is that I've got some personal issues right now that I'm dealing with, which make me feel that I have expended so much time, love, kindness, and generosity, all of which is essentially in the past. It's part of life that's already been lived, but that life is a continuous journey, and you have to go on. What I've been doing recently to try and console myself is flip back to the attitude of gratitude and remind myself how incredibly fortunate I am on a global scale. Because it's so easy for me personally, the way I'm built astrologically, to fall into a pit of self-pity and misery and woe is me. And then you start to feel like, well, that's my reality. And it isn't. You can recalibrate yourself. But in my case, because, it's almost like I'm already living beyond my extended shelf life as it is. The journey keeps going. I have a long way to go, Pat. You still have a long way to go. And as much as you might feel that you have given so much love, and whether it's been reciprocated or not is not the issue here, but you have given so much to others, and yet where is that for you? And if you allow yourself to be consumed with the things that aren't working, then this turns into a pit of misery and self-pity, and it's very hard to dig out of that. So it's better to look at it as like a journey where you've already had a very rich and fruitful life in your own way, and you are very fortunate and gifted and loved in your own way. even though you might have certain wishes for things to work out in ways that are different, okay? What was that thing that, I guess I just said it about my own situation here. I wanted to convey that to you, Path Traveler, to let you know that you're not alone with this Eight of Cups energy, okay? Let me go over here a second. I'm not quite finished with the reading yet. With that Eight of Cups, what I try to do is remind myself that in some ways I've already lived my life. I've had so many what I call lifestyle package deals, complete package deals with a beginning and a middle and an end. Not everybody has life journeys that play out this way, but that's very much how mine has played out. And some of it has been spectacular, some of it has been catastrophic, some of it has been extremely joyful, some of it has been extremely tragic. But they are like package deals. And so if you can understand what I'm saying, Path, if you could look at the Eight of Cups there for you and look at each of those 8 cups as individual package deals, and each one was full of love. You were loving, and that's the most important thing. You were loving. Whether you were loved, it's a whole other thing, but you were loving, and you still are. But in order to continue to be loving, you have to continue, because everything else in terms of our 3D reality, that's history. It's gone. It's in the past. It's memories. Okay? Maybe you can access it, like you said here, maybe in the dream state. You know? Hello, Love Triber. It looks like Love Triber just showed up. Yay! Okay, let's everybody give a big hug, extend a big hug to Love Triber. It is officially her birthday. She's 19. Wonderful 19. All right, Path, I hope that helps you in some way. I hope that made sense. I was trying to explain that as well as I could because I could relate to it very closely. I just didn't want you to get consumed here or swallowed up in a swamp, you know. Okay. Let's put this aside. Ooh, you know what we should do? We should give a little freebie to Love Triber. All right, Love Triber, this is for you. I don't know if you're watching closely right now. I know you got very important stuff to do, but this is for you, and it's on the house. Okay. And there is your candle. And there is your cupcake birthday cake. Yay! All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Love Triber. Happy birthday to you. Ta-da! There you go. All right. What little messages do we have here for Love Triber tonight? She's got her cake and she's going to eat it. All right, let's have a look. All right, Love Triber. Freebie on the house for fun. A little present. All right, what divine messages do we have here for Love Triber for the moment? Let's have a look. Cards are well shuffled. No, they're not. I need to go more. Oh, you know what? Just want to share a little something the other day. Just give me a second. recently Love Triber has been inviting me to enjoy watching movies with her, and there's been 3 in a row, but the one I remember is the one from the other night, and it's called Always. I never heard of it. Anyway, she has this uncanny ability to find these kind of interesting movies, but it was made, I think, in the early 80s, and I didn't quite understand it at first. It was like an adventure. It's all about these firefighter camps over in California or Colorado or somewhere. I think it was California. Yeah. And the story evolved in such a way that it became a love story from the great beyond. And one of the heroes, played by Richard Dreyfuss, was a firefighter in those fire suppressant airplanes, and it went bad and crashed out, and then he came back and he didn't realize he had already crossed over to the other side. And so the whole movie took on this whole amazing almost like a dreamscape experience, because you could see the story evolving from the side of Richard Dreyfuss while he's in heaven, but also from the side of his girlfriend who's back here on earth. It was a very beautiful story. And I guess at the very end, the final end was almost like it's almost like the 8 of Cups that Path Traveler just had in her readings, where Richard Dreyfuss realized, with a lot of help and coaching from his angels on the other side, that the ultimate gift to his girlfriend was to release her and let her love again. And that's what happened. It was a beautiful story. Alrighty. Let's have a look. I'm going to do a tiny bit more shuffling, then we're going to dive right in. Okay, what kind of messages do we have for Love Triber tonight? For her birthday. It could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's just have a look over here. And let's have a look at some background influences. Oh, abundance. There must be some kind of sweet alignment going on right now where it just happens to be a cluster, okay? And I think this relates very much to the Aquarius new moon that just happened, where we had 4 planets in Aquarius right there. And let's just say with this 10 of Pentacles, there's a strong indication of, I would say, good fortune, worldly abundance, that's kind of like following her around, where she's resonating with that energy, the energy's resonating with her. She deserves abundance, and the abundance deserves her. It's like they want to be with each other. Because, what's that expression? Money goes where it's treated the best. Love Triber is really gifted, like, with material understanding of things, how to optimize resources, make the best of one's resources, which is very much one of the secrets to wealth. It's like a good luck charm here. And I think it's very much to do with the sextiles that we talked about earlier with Necessary Truth. This is really powerful, super supportive, zany, fun energy, which I guess amplifies the good vibes of that Aquarius new moon over here. Okay? Because, you know, with her birthday on the 29th, obviously she's an Aquarius. Duh! Saturn isn't gone quite yet. Saturn in Aquarius is going to be there for a little bit longer. Anyway, I see this as very sweet, like fuzzy, warm feelings where things are kind of lining up in such a way for a love triber that she can realistically expect a degree of worldly, let's say, satisfaction and stability, including financial, material matters, for the long term. A lot of it is because she worked for it and deserves it and earned it. Okay? And then you get manifestation. Maybe we'll know more by the full moon, but we'll see. This is just the random birthday reading. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Look at these. This is the Ten of Cups. Life, it doesn't get much better. So this is, this is like a timestamp, okay? I think it's really good to think of this as a timestamp where it needs to be acknowledged that despite all the challenges that Love Triber is having, there is a stamp, official. It's an official stamp of good fortune where you get to enjoy being with people who love you and people that you love. Now, there is a party scheduled at some point, I believe. I know she likes to have fun. And so that's probably coming up in the near future. Of course, this is also about the home as well. Ten of Pentacles is very much about home and family as well. So it's very complementary energy. Okay? Very, I would say, satisfying, serious warm and fuzzies here. About being able to share your abundance, share your home, share your wealth with others that you appreciate, and of course they do appreciate you in return already. Literally something to celebrate here. Now, what's the problems? Of course, it's still, never mind all this wonderful good stuff. No matter how sweet things can be, it's still a juggling match with money. It's always a juggling match. It's almost like, wouldn't it be so nice if you could just put all your financial issues on autopilot and never have to think about it again? You just wake up and everything's sorted out. But it's not. At least not yet. There is still a lot of, I would call it, well, it has to be brought into balance so that you're not giving away too much and you're not receiving too much. It has to be equilibrium. Also, this could be the fear, a deep fear that you might not get the dues that you deserve from external resources. But that's just fear, false evidence appearing real. Remember, you've lived a life already. Like necessary truth, like path traveler, you have been very, very, very loving, and you deserve this good stuff. But obviously, you don't want to get drunk on it. You got to keep things harmonious and balanced for the long term, and start thinking and planning for the long term, so that this is not squandered. Okay, now how are we going to deal with all of that? Wow, more pentacles. So not only is it a work in progress, but it will be a long-term commitment to maintaining the wealth and abundance that you have already, and in fact to incremental increases. very, very methodical in a very Virgo Capricorn type of manner, where you just get on with it in a very business-like, practical manner of application in order to get results. In other words, starting at the beginning here, you could almost get dizzy with how sweet this is. But this is getting very much back into reality with all these pentacles here. Let's get real. All of this sweet stuff here is actually based on previous examples of living this way. Now, if there have been periods in your life where the finances have been seriously out of balance, where you have been very much on the receiving end without much going the other way, or whether you have been the one being very, very generous but receiving very little in return, then that has to stabilize. And going forward, stabilizing means really, really focusing on finance and business in a way that is, let's say, very responsible, mature, in charge for the very long term financial planning here, and continued application, continued efforts. But obviously you don't want to hurt yourself, okay? This is about dedication to the long-term tasks of consistently improving and adding to your abundance, okay? I think that's kind of a sweet birthday reading, okay? There you go. All right, that's it. Let's leave it at that, folks. We got lives to live and so on. So, thank you all for showing up. I'm just going to play a little song, and we'll get on with the night. So, dear Necessary Truth, if you are not semi-conscious already, I hope you are semi-conscious or unconscious very soon, and you turn into divine jello and then start fresh tomorrow. Okay? Path, you are still on path. That's how we'll look over here. I'm just going to play one more little. Oh, I did that already? Oh, now let me have a look. Oh. I'm not sure what to play. It's a wonderful journey. Now this is, I'm going to play this again because I did it a while back. It's actually a birthday song. It's about the wonders of life, the ups and downs. It's like being at a wonderful old-fashioned fairground with the very old-fashioned rides, zooming up and zooming down on roller coasters and things like that. It's called Wonder Ride, and it's a medium-paced waltz, okay? All right, here we go. This is for you. Well, this is for everybody tonight, okay?
Okay, we are rolling. So, this is the birthday present from my student. Just wanted to share this. Okay. It's called Wonder Ride.
It's called Wonder Ride. The wonderful ride of life.
My dear, this is my birthday present to you, to celebrate the day that heaven made you. It's remarkable that we both found one another. And the day we set out on our transformational ride with each other at each other's side, it soon became evident that we are both changing. And it's such a wonder ride, my dear. Yes, it's such a wonder world of untold delights that truly defy the imagination. You've naturally taken it upon yourself to document all of the nuances that go to make up a story of extraordinary proportions. And it's such a wonder ride, my dear. Yes, it's such a wonder ride. Hold on tight, tightly, my dear. Yeah, it's such a wonder ride, my dear. Yes, it's such a wonder ride. Hold on tight, tightly, my dear.
There you go. You got here late. You missed something. Yeah, you missed your reading. God. It's all right. You can watch it on a replay if you have to. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Aw. It's been wonderful, folks. I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it, but I've got some things spinning around up in my head about how we're going to proceed with, you know, the tarot illumination thing, phenomenon, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to bust out here. Okay, here we go. No, I don't want to play that one. We're going to play the Snake on the Beach. Okay.